In this video, we are going to talk about Jasmy, some of its recent price action, and the important support and resistance areas, as well as where we can expect the price of Jasmy to go in the next few days and weeks. So we'll look at the weekly chart, and as you can see right here, Jasmy has been dumping for months until just a few weeks ago it stopped dumping and actually started getting some upward momentum. This rally in the last couple of weeks came off of this support area from all the way back in early 2024. Jasmy reacted to it quite well, but then in the last few days we've seen it get rejected off of this resistance area that we've seen Jasmy react to as support back in April, and now it turned into resistance, and Jasmy has been struggling a bit, especially since Bitcoin has been struggling in the last few days as well. And now the question is whether Jasmy started a trend reversal or if this is just another lower high and Jasmy will just continue dumping from here. What would confirm either scenario is first, if Jasmy continues dumping and closes a weekly candle below this area of 0.005, then that would be a confirmation that Jasmy is continuing to create lower lows and continuing its downtrend. But if Jasmy stops dumping before that and actually starts rallying and closes a weekly candle above this previous local high at around 0.01, then that would confirm the start of a trend reversal for Jasmy. With Jasmy being such a small market cap altcoin, it's incredibly volatile, and as you can see, just this small difference that looks pretty insignificant on the chart between 0.005 and 0.01 that would confirm whether it's in a downtrend or a trend reversal already started. That's already a 100% difference in price. So if Jasmy is still in a downtrend and it crosses below 0.005, this would likely lead to a dump all the way down to this next support area. This would be a dump of nearly 50%, but if a trend reversal did start and it crosses this area of 0.01, then it will likely get a rally all the way up to the next significant resistance area right about here at around 0.017, which will be a rally of about 70%. So in either scenario, the move for Jasmy can be very explosive, and it can be a move of tens of percentage points in just a couple of weeks. Now, what do I think is more likely? Well, in my opinion, at the moment, it's a little bit more likely that Jasmy will create a slightly higher low right here, or maybe create a double bottom and then actually get a rally, because it is really looking like the down momentum that Jasmy had in the last 2 months has really slowed down, and I'm also expecting Bitcoin to continue its rally to at least a bit over 100k sometime relatively soon. Although we are likely in a bear market, Bitcoin will likely create a new higher low, and when that does happen, Jasmy will likely get a rally. But with that being said, the probabilities are still very close and both scenarios are perfectly possible. So of course, this is not financial advice whatsoever, but personally, for me to be convinced enough to get into this coin, I would first want to see the confirmation of Jasmy crossing this previous high. So until that happens, at the moment, I would personally avoid Jasmy. And also in general, at the moment, I am expecting most altcoins to not do so well and likely underperform Bitcoin and Ethereum, because for the entire altcoin market as a whole to do well and start outperforming the top assets like Bitcoin and Ethereum, we first need to see Bitcoin and Ethereum themselves doing very well and at least getting close to the all-time highs and likely even crossing it. So for me to really be convinced enough to get into an altcoin at the moment, especially the low market cap ones, I would need to see a very good setup and some very positive signs, which at the moment I'm not really seeing on the chart of Jasmy. It's not quite convincing enough for me, not on the chart of Jasmy itself, and also not in the entire dynamic in the crypto market at the moment. But if later on, in a few months, we do see Bitcoin getting its relief rally to over 100k, and we see Ethereum following it and getting at least very close to its previous all-time high, potentially even crossing it and getting to over 5k, that would likely trigger a pretty significant alt season. Maybe not one as significant as we've seen back in 2021, but it could still be pretty explosive, and we could see many altcoins doing very well. And with Jasmy being so volatile, that could trigger a very significant rally, potentially even crossing this target that we talked about before and getting all the way up to its previous highs from back in 2024. And this type of rally could even lead to Jasmy get a 4x, potentially even more than that. But this is very speculative at the moment and still seems pretty unlikely in my opinion. And as I said, I'm still waiting for confirmation and some better signs for Jasmy. And again, this is not financial advice whatsoever, but at the moment I would avoid getting into Jasmy. That's going to be it for this video. If you enjoyed it and you want more updates about Jasmy as well as other altcoins and the entire crypto market in general, make sure to subscribe. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.